Welcome back to the Isaac Abrams Show, everybody. I'm your host, Isaac Abrams. Today's very special guest, comedian, voiceover director, producer, actor, and first-time philanthropist. Did I say comedian? Because that's very important. Lucas Hirl, everybody.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. I should have said that first. I'm super jacked on caffeine.
It's all right.
Everybody knows we do the intros at the end now. So stay tuned to find out about some inside comedy, sports betting. We talk about sports betting. And at the end, we adopt 12-year-olds. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the episode, everybody.
Yeah, like I'll take advantage of drunk guy friends all the time.
Oh, sure.
So many drunk buddies want to like bet me random like football games I know they'll lose. And they're hammered and some will want to double down. It's like, yeah, all right. It'll teach you not to drink.
Right.
And not to bet with me.
And they wake up and they're like, where's all my money?
Yeah.
You're like, it's in my wallet. Yeah, I got all of it. Let's talk about that gambling.
Do it.
Have you always been a sports guy? Do you only... Okay, so for the friends at home, Lucas has a sports betting podcast?
Yes, it's called What's the Odds? It's on the All Things Comedy Network.
Yeah. And that's with Brenton
Biddlecombe and Steve Renazizi.
Old Stevie.
Yep.
And how long has that been going?
It's been going on since Brent and Steve started in 2018.
Okay.
I hopped on in 2019.
Nice.
And we did it through the pandemic. Steve's in New York now, so we do it via Zoom. But Brenton is probably the smartest guy I know.
Yeah.
He's a very, very smart dude. Really puts analytics into every decision he makes.
Wow.
Every decision. So, because the problem with I've been a sports fan all my life. Mm-hmm. And I dabble in gambling. I'm not a degenerate, but I do like it. It's just fun. It gives you another reason to watch. But since gambling took over, the ads are incessant and the nerds have really taken over sports. Mm-hmm. Just the numbers you see flashing on the screen, 67% chance to win,
yeah.
What's the over under? And Brenton takes those numbers and applies them to all aspects of his life. Any decisions he's making, he definitely weighs the pros and cons. And
wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So he's a good friend to have because I don't make stupid bets because of him. If I didn't have him, I'd definitely make stupid bets. But he talks sense into me in so many aspects of my life.
Do you guys put your money where your mouth is? Like if you tell somebody to bet, do you have real money on that recommendation?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen those girls, not necessarily girls, women on Instagram that are the sports bet lady, and they're like, follow my Patreon for the real picks, and it's this is probably the most sexist thing I'll ever say on this show, but do you think that specific lady knows what she's talking about, or does she have a team of guys like you telling her what to do?
I think if she had a team of guys, it really wouldn't matter because gambling is gambling.
Yeah.
It's all luck. Even after Biddlecombe won his $1 million on DraftKings, to this day, I'm just trying to convince him 98% of it is luck.
Yeah.
And it's that other 2% where, that's why I don't gamble too hard, because there are people like him that it's a job. Mm-hmm. And they spend the day treating it like a job. And they're not, just some dumbass sports fan like me who's on his phone 10 minutes just placing a bet and watching a game.
Yeah. But there has to be some science to it for the people that are taking the bets.
Yeah, there is. I saw some stat that on DraftKings, 5% of the people make 90+% of the money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So how does you might not know this, but how do you make the odds? How do you work for the casino? How do you work for DraftKings? Those guys have to be super smart, and if they know all that stuff,
yeah,
then how do you keep them employed without them just going off and being a professional gambler?
That's where it's the fine line.
It's the magic of Vegas.
It's the fine line, man.
Yeah. You think California will get sports betting?
Everything else is legal. I don't understand how gambling isn't. Mm-hmm. Drugs are pretty much legal.
Almost, yeah. Almost, yeah. We just need mushrooms and we'll be all set.
Yeah, and I feel like we could go outside on the sidewalk and smoke from a crack pipe right now. Mm-hmm. Nobody's gonna say anything.
That's right.
But for some reason, gambling just hasn't passed.
Yeah, but we can drive 4 hours.
Yes.
Cross an imaginary line.
Yes.
And waste all of our money.
Yes.
In Vegas.
Or go through a bookie overseas.
It's true.
Right here on your phone.
Yeah. Now, I was just in Vegas, and they're pushing this new the BetMGM app, right? Mm-hmm. If you place a bet in Vegas, you go home, you still cash out when you get home. I don't know how they pulled that off. Because you used to, if you placed a bet, you'd have to cash it out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because I would always leave before Sunday. But I got into baseball parlays this year.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I came one game away from a 12-game parlay. And it was going to pay me, it was $5 bet, it was going to pay me $25,000.
Would you rather miss on one game or just shit the bed on the whole parlay? Because I'd almost rather shit the bed than be like, God dang it, this one.
I love the action of going like, I almost won $25,000. Like, if the first game blows it, like, the rest of the day's fucked. But you watching all those games. I won't watch all the games. I'll be at a slot machine. I'll just glance over every once in a while. But you get to that last game and they're down by 4 and you're just sitting at the bar and they come back and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's the best drug I've ever done.
Yeah, I just don't have the patience. I got a buddy who's like, let's just say he's very good with numbers. Mm-hmm. And he loves baseball. Mm-hmm. I'm texting him. I'm like, what's today's bets? And he's like, fucking hit all these. The thing with the sports betting, they have the little kiosk now. It looks like an ATM. Mm-hmm. They won't let you put any modifiers on it. Or I don't know how to do that. So I can't go like, I want the over-under and build in that. So I can just go straight wins and losses for my parlays. But I want to be able to up it.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I just haven't figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
And you can't do a parlay that'll win you more than $25,000 on the machine. You got to go talk to a real human.
Okay, that might be a good thing. I don't know. I studied economics in college, so I love numbers.
Yeah.
And I love like the stock market. I've been investing money since like my early 20s.
Wow.
So like sports gambling is like, I kind of write that off as a loss. Mm-hmm. And then I have this other aspect of gambling that makes me so much more money.
Which is the stocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't mind like losing $50, $100 in a weekend.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's responsible.
Yeah.
You're paying for entertainment.
I'm not going 4 figures. I'm not like, I don't want to sweat on a Sunday.
You're not like, give me a dime on the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
I'm
even
not
know
that
what
stupid.
You're right. Is
I'm
a
not putting
dime
any money on
1,000
the
or
Jets.
10,000?
It's 10,000.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No. I always have the thought that like I used to play craps.
Okay.
And I was pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's a fun family game. That's, you get the crowd behind you.
Everybody's like hanging out. It's an energy game, right? If you can bring the positive energy with you, you can have a great time. And it's highs and lows. You ride the lows, you can get to the highs. But the best night you're ever going to have in craps, I think we got $6,000 one night a piece because we bet the all, tall, and small. It's like you hit and get every number. And I think we all had like $20 or $30 on it. It's like 800 to 1 or something stupid because it never happens. Mm-hmm. But that's not going to change your life. $6,000. I mean, listen, to some people that's a lot of money. To me, that's a lot of money. If you gave me $6,000 right now, I'd be like, Lucas, thank you for this $6,000. Changed my day. I'm not going to retire off of $6,000. Slot machines with a progressive jackpot of $10 million, that'll change your life. So I just switched over to slots.
How much? Okay.
I get way less comps now, though.
Yeah. I see as a comedian, though, why you would like craps.
I hate talking to strangers, though.
You do?
I absolutely don't like to talk to people in public.
So after shows, where do you go? You hang in the green room? Do you go outside?
Well, I'll go meet and greet everybody at the shows. Yeah. But I mean, I'm only doing guest sets right now. I'm not headlining or anything.
Yeah.
But my headliner does a full free meet and greet for everyone after every single show, and he sells out everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there, and I have stickers I give out for free, and I'm like, check it out. And then sometimes his fans will be like, get in this picture with me and this guy, and I'm like, fucking dope. So I don't mind meeting those people. But like, if I'm at a bar and some dude's like, hey man, where are you from? I'm like, none of your business. I don't care. Like random strangers, I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a little empathic, so like it's an energy drain to like get to know someone new that I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But it's refueling to get to know somebody new like yourself that I want to get to know.
Yeah.
It's like a fuel up kind of thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to a depletion.
Yeah, dude, we're getting older. We got my patience for new people.
I used to, when I first started listening to comedy podcasts, I would hear like Rogan or Maron go like, or Seinfeld go like, I only want to hang out with comedians. And I was like, that's weird. Like, you don't want to hang out with like a bowler or a baseball player or whatever. I totally get it now.
Yeah.
You can absolutely shit on a comedian. They're like, oh, that was funny, man.
Yeah. No matter where they fall on the spectrum or I don't like comedians that are like me, but I like comedians.
Yeah. What does that mean? You don't like comedians like you?
Like, I don't like to hang out with people that are like me. All my friends, my closest people in my life, are always drastically different than me. Like, they're much shorter than me. They're, black. Or like, I don't hang out with like 6'3" white dudes.
Okay.
Not a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's considerably less 6'3" white dudes than there are short dudes in general.
True.
So you're at an advantage there.
Yeah. But like growing up in Iowa, my town was just all me.
Oh, everybody's
white,
everybody's tall.
corn-fed, big.
Yeah.
And so I come out here and like you just see like these skinny, scrawny guys. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? Like the women in the Midwest are bigger than you.
Yeah. They're stocky. They're well fed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. It's crazy to go on the road and come home. It's like, there's nothing to do here but eat.
Yeah.
And you see it. Like everybody's between here and New York.
Yeah.
There's a couple extra pounds.
Yeah.
But out here in LA, everybody's like, oh, I got to look good. You never know. I get discovered at Erewhon tomorrow. Be in the new commercial for whatever.
Well, dude, because they also told us growing up that all this corn-fed crap was healthy. Like every year in elementary school, we took a field trip to the corn syrup plant. And it's called Cargill. And it's where Pepsi, it was a Pepsi plant. And so we were going to the soda factory every year. We called it Pop. But, and teachers would be like, oh, this is, they turn vegetables into Mountain Dew. I'm like, this can't, You're
just picturing vegetables going in one side of the warehouse and Mountain Dew coming out the other, like a cartoon.
Yeah, and we're all impressionable kids. So, like, as a kid, dude, I used to drink 6 to 8, Pepsis a day.
Wow.
Like, I wasn't a fat kid, but I had a fat phase.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember cutting out soda, except for with alcohol, like 15 years ago, and now it just tastes funny.
Yeah.
Because there's all that sugar in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in everything now.
Yeah. And that's why I like California. That's one of the reasons I moved here is they got rid of that crap, the corn syrup, the high fructose, a decade ago. So now I read all the labels. That I'm very just whatever I put in my body, I try to make it, clean. And I don't have to worry about anything in California having fructose corn syrup in it. Really? Everything in the Midwest still has it. So if you get a bottle of, Kraft ketchup in Iowa, the first ingredient's corn syrup. Here, they don't.
They banned it in California.
Yeah, so it's sugar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Is that why we're all skinnier here?
I think it helps.
Yeah. Less sugar.
That and the cocaine.
Well,
all
all the fentanyl.
Exactly. Fucking drugs out here.
That's crazy. Cocaine's making a comeback.
Yeah, it really never left.
I mean,
you know what I noticed though as a comedian, when I started, you couldn't talk about it on stage. Or comedians that did, you just hear this like, this awkward, like, I don't want to say I've ever tried it. Mm-hmm. Now I feel people are way more open about it.
I think so.
It's almost weird. It makes me feel old because it's like, should you really be so open about
I talk about it on this show all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just part of my lexicon. Like, I participate in it a couple times a year. I have a 4-day hangover now, so it's less and less.
Yeah.
But, I still hang out with people that enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think they should legalize it because it scares the shit out of me when someone pulls a bag out. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck you got that.
Yeah. I think the fentanyl crisis is going to have to, they're going to have to clean it up and maybe legalize it. We'll see.
I mean, the cartels themselves should want to clean that shit up.
Yeah.
They're losing millions of dollars a day when people are, I don't know how many people actually quit.
Yeah.
I think people just started doing it privately.
Yeah.
You don't just pull it out at a party. It used to be just, well, we're in the kitchen doing cocaine, everybody. And now it's like, hey, you want to go to the bathroom and do some of this cocaine?
Right.
I was at a buddy's wedding a couple years ago, and his, let's call him business associate so I don't narrow down who he is. He pulls out a freezer bag. He's like, you want the rest of my Coke? And it was like, it wasn't full of cocaine to start with. It was just like, that's the last bag that he had. And it was just some dust in there. But if you scrape the whole bag out, you might have been able to get a line out of it. So I take it to like the groomsman's lodge because it's some farm that we're having this wedding on. And I go in the bathroom and I start dumping it on the tile or the kitchen, not kitchen. I'm losing it today. The bathroom sink, but it's marbled. So I didn't know that there was a layer of water. And it just, as soon as it hits the counter, it just turns gray and dissolves. And what I was supposed to do is, get a line or two ready to go and then invite this lady friend up. And I come walking back out. And I met her that day. So it's not my date or anything. She was one of the bridesmaids. She's like, is it ready? I'm like, yeah, I got it all wet. It's done. There's nothing. She's like, you're a fucking idiot. And she didn't talk to me for the rest of the night.
You know what? It wasn't meant to be.
No, definitely not.
If that's a deal breaker.
Right. Yeah. Fun for a wedding night, but that's not something you want to lock down for.
Yeah, no. No, that's dumber than gambling.
Oh, yeah.
But they're on similar levels, I feel.
Yeah. But you're sober now?
No, I get drunk probably every 3 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll have a good bender.
Nice.
And then I never want to say never to anything.
Yeah.
Because I quit drinking for a few years, and it was fun. Got in great shape. Felt great. But then, even sober people, you telling me if the apocalypse comes and all you have is a bottle of Jack, you're not going to swig it,
Yeah.
So I just never say, never to anything.
Yeah, I didn't make it my New Year's resolution to quit drinking, but I wanted to greatly reduce it. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, you're doing dry January. I'm like, no, I'm also not quitting smoking. Like, if I want to have a cigarette, the absolutes are the things that make me have to want to go do it again.
Yeah.
Dry January is not going that great. I had last 3 nights in a row, probably. I've had some drinks.
Okay.
At least the last 2. Oh, I saw you on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
As we say.
But you weren't drinking on Tuesday.
I wasn't. I don't drink around the comedy scene. Okay.
Hey, that's smart. Because bartending at this comedy store, that's what really got me to stop drinking is so much as the comedians that really are successful. Sebastian will have a Patron maybe every 5 months, couple times a year maybe.
Yeah.
He's never drinking at the club, and if he is, he has people there he's entertaining, and he has one. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of successful people I see that drink every night.
Bert's the only partier left.
Yeah, and I always wonder about that because say he wanted to get sober, I don't know if he ever could because his fans just always want to drink with him.
Yeah, I mean, he could do the Dean Martin thing and just he's like, oh, I only drink whiskey now, guys. Or he could stick with vodka, just have somebody fill up a bottle of water. But if anybody ever found out,
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
The fraud. But I mean, he's a good dude.
Yeah. Ron White quit drinking recently.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he's super skinny. Yeah. Looks great. That shocked me because that guy, he was a drinker.
Yeah, I mean, was he drinking his own tequila?
Yeah. He'd always bring it in. Yeah. It was very good. Number 1, I think it's called.
Yeah, I've had it.
Yeah.
I remember the day they got it at the Improv. They made a whole new shelf for it.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
No, we had it at the Comedy Store, and we had this stupid drink named after it called the Taterade.
That's funny.
It's fucking. It was ginger beer, that tequila, and lime juice.
Yeah.
So it's a mule with fucking his tequila, which I think is aged in Scotch barrel, so it has a distinct taste.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder if he has a drink every once in a while now.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, he got it out of his system.
I think so. I think he still probably smokes, but
cigars
and pot.
Oh yeah.
I think everybody needs a vice. I don't trust a comedian that doesn't have a vice.
Dude, I have too many vices.
That's good. No,
I mean it's hopefully good for comedy.
Yeah.
My worst vice is that I just don't write enough.
You don't.
I don't write enough. I need to write more. I'm too busy chomping away and making clips for everybody, and it's just need to take an hour. Mm-hmm. So I have a buddy he's a writer. He just moved to my beach town, and we'll meet at the coffee shop in the morning now, which is great. First hour of my day. It's like, is this something? Is this something? Is this something? And he's like, yeah. Oh, work on that. Yeah. No, here's a better turn. And he's not a comedian at all. He's just a really good writer. So that helps.
It does make such a huge difference because I write a lot, but it's just in my own head. Mm. And so in the event, I'll bounce off ideas with friends. You get that whole other perspective, whether they're a comedian or not. Mm-hmm. So that's so helpful. And also, I go over old notebooks a lot. Do you do that?
I'm not an old enough comedian to have an old notebook.
But you started, 4 or 5 years ago? Mm-hmm. Okay. You have notebooks from then, right?
It's the same notebook.
Okay.
That's how little I write.
But still, you go back to page one. Mm-hmm. You know, because I'll go back to notebooks from 10 years ago when I started and be like, God dang it, this is bad. But you knew where your head was.
Yeah.
And so I'll be able to get a couple ideas from it. You realize you weren't funny then, but you had the right mindset. You know, your mind was in the right place, and you just didn't know how to say it.
Yeah. You got to learn, you know, I used to hear all these old veteran comics talk about this toolbox. I'm like, you didn't take a toolbox on stage? It was such a literal thought to me. But then they're like, oh, you know, you just know how to navigate, and you have this new thought, and you're like, oh, I'm going to take it this way. And you can write on stage. I was like, writing on stage, that would be boring to watch someone like, I don't know, it's another literal thought, like writing shit down. I'm like, and the more I get up on stage, the more better, the funnier I get, the more I'm like, oh, we got to take it this way.
That's a really good point, because I used to think the same thing when people say I write on stage. Like, really? Like, and now I think you have to write off stage to be able to write on stage.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you that.
They don't tell you that. They have 90% of the idea, whether it's written on paper or they worked it out in their head. They know where they're going to go with it. But it's the energy of the crowd in the evening that's going to either go A or B or whatever. They're going to test it out a couple different ways.
Yeah. Do you find yourself, when you're on stage, like your mind is in a whole different set? So if you're trying to remember something right before you go on, and then you're up there, it's like, oh, fuck, my mind's blank.
Yeah. I don't have thoughts when I'm on stage.
Okay, same.
It's coming out of me. So that's where the repetition of the last 4 months has been great. Because I think we did about 60 shows in 4 months.
Damn.
And it's autopilot once you're up there. So the first couple were super rough because I hadn't really memorized my set yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got a real 10 this year. My first real
Dude, that's the hardest 10 to get.
Yeah. And then once you have that, you just want to sit in it for a minute. Yeah. You're like, I know there's a laugh coming.
Yeah.
Damn. And it's a set that doesn't work in Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of movie stories about working with celebrities and saying embarrassing shit. It's story-based.
Okay.
And there's a couple of punchlines in there. It could definitely be punched up. But I tried that same set at the Improv last Saturday. And I followed Adam Ray, who is a murderer, just an absolute killer. And the show that I did, they have a band on stage.
What was the show?
It's called House Party.
Okay.
It's Rocky Roberts' show.
Yeah, I know that show.
And Adam fires up the band, and he's talking to the front row, and he's writing songs and singing, and the whole place is just pissing themselves.
Yeah.
And I had this whole thing worked up where I was going to go in on the front row and be like, all right, do you know where you work? And do you have your jobs picked out? The whole rest of the comedians, they're all going to ask you where you, don't tell me, but have your jobs picked out. And he already milked the whole front row, and I was like, So I just went into my old shit that I do on the road. Bombed. Just bombed. Until, my closer got him a little bit. But
yeah.
That's a weird feeling. I haven't had too many bombs. Very fortunate. I haven't had too many bombs. But
it's just part of it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I love, like, Greg Fitzsimmons does this, and I like doing it. It's where you kind of dig yourself holes just to get out of them.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just to see if you can, because, you'll try a joke that will just not hit. And then the challenge is, okay, how do I get out of, whatever level of clusterfuck you got yourself into?
Yeah.
But I think you can always get out.
Oh, sure. If you have enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm trusting myself enough to get out of pretty much any hole. Because I also grew up on, like, Letterman and then Conan O'Brien, where they would have these jokes that would bomb. And then the real joke was them commenting on the bomb.
Right. That's my favorite shit.
Yeah.
Is the little asides that you can throw where it's like, oh, I thought you guys liked puns, or,
Yeah. Or we'll cut this in editing, or,
Yeah. Oh, man. That's my favorite shit.
Yeah.
That's what started me on my comedy path in the first place was my friends going like, your jokes suck, but the shit that you say after you say an unfunny joke is the funniest shit that we've ever heard. I was like, well, how do you write that stuff?
That's your voice.
Yeah. Yeah. David Spade does it amazing. I was watching him at the store the other night, and his little, like, not to brag, but, just those little fucking quips that he throws between his written lines, master level.
Yeah. The sarcastic.
So funny. Yeah. Self-deprecating.
Yeah.
I want to be good. I want to be good really bad.
Do you listen to your sets? No. You don't? Oh, I'm surprised.
I watch them back.
Okay. That's the same thing.
But I don't watch all of them.
But still, if you're able to listen to yourself, that will save you a couple of years. If you're able to watch yourself, that's even better.
Yeah.
Because I know so many comedians that don't watch or listen to their sets.
Yeah. I try and watch the best one of the weekend.
Okay.
So if I'm like, I had the best feeling about Saturday late, I'll watch that on the plane home.
Okay.
But I go up, I do a guest set right before my headliner because I'm on the road with him as a videographer. He just gifts me some stage time every night. And if I get off stage, he's like, that was the set of the weekend, that was a good one, I'll watch that one on the way back. But I tape all mine because I can't get off stage and then hit record on all the cameras and be rolling by the time he comes out and says his first line. So I have the last 60 shows that I've done on tape.
Dude. And like that 10 minutes you have, I mean, this is just unsolicited advice, but like, because I'm the same way with my 15 right now, and my set's never the same. I'm always changing some order or something. But my problem is I write a lot that I don't have like a definitive, like
this is my set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that I'm working on an hour, the hard part is like the ordering of the whole thing. Because when you're doing, whether it be 5 minutes, 20, an hour, the whole thing's a story. And some jokes that never worked, now that I'm more into it, it's just all about where I place them.
Right.
So
and there's pacing to an hour that you don't get in a 15-minute set. There's like, if you hit them too hard out of the gate, they need a little bit of a longer story in the middle to kind of like rest from laughing so hard.
Yeah. Even Jeselnik, like his specials, he's very kind of not one-linery, but he's a punchline onto the next topic kind of guy. Even his specials usually all end with like a longer story because, like you said, the change of pace. And I love Mitch Hedberg. He's the first show I ever went to.
Oh, you got to see him live?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I was in college. I was my sophomore year. I just turned 20, and he was playing Des Moines, Iowa, and I was living in Iowa City. And it was like a Thursday night, so I skipped classes to see him. And I saw him with my two brothers at the Valor Ballroom in Des Moines, Iowa. It's February 20 of, it was 2005. And a comedian, Mexican-American comedian opened for him from San Francisco named Al Madrigal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Al, must have been probably 6-7 years in. And I remember like thinking, okay, this guy's funny. And then Mitch went on. And I remember most of Mitch, but like my older brother at the time was giving me Long Island teas.
Oh boy.
So I was so drunk. Like I only remember a couple jokes that I hadn't heard. But I remember the opener well because I was, not hammered then. And then I moved to the LA about 5 years later. And I met Al, and he was a totally different comedian. So much more unique, so much more like personalized. And like, he was funny when I first saw him in 2005, but by 2010, man, that guy was a killer.
Yeah.
And like nobody could copy him.
I not worry about that, but I think about that all the time. Like finding my audience, finding my voice, and like what makes me unique. And I feel like I'm just your average white dude. Like I'm not redneck enough to get like the country crowd. You know what I mean? I'm not cool enough to get the hipsters. I'm not smart enough to get the smart guys. I'm not sportsy enough to get the sports people. I'm just like,
where do you fit in?
Where is there just like a average dude like this? It's so fucked up to say this because it's like there's an unlimited amount of like other average white dudes that I could attain as a market. But I'll look at Sebastian and I'll be like, I fucking wish I was Italian, then the Italians would listen to me. I look at Joe Coy, I wish I had the Filipinos, right? It's like, where are my people? Where are my mutts,
Yeah. I was wondering like why Taylor Swift is so popular because to me she looks like, half of my female cousins. Like I'm not attracted to her at all.
Me neither.
But a girlfriend explained it to me well. She's like, well, yeah, but she's the prototypical basic white girl. I'm like, oh yeah, that audience is huge.
Yeah. Like if you can tap it, it's unlimited.
Yeah. You're Jewish, right?
No.
Oh, you're not?
I'm German.
You're German too?
My
Okay.
real last name is very German.
Okay.
Abrams is my middle name, is half of my middle name.
Okay. I was going to say, you could definitely, I feel, appeal to that East Coast kind of like.
I could, but it would be like stolen valor, right? Start
Yeah.
doing Jewish jokes and they
Yeah.
find out I'm not Jewish.
Yeah.
That's a bad day.
I know. In LA, if you don't know who you are, it will tell you who you are.
Yeah.
Because when I moved here, like, dude, my grandparents were farmers. I spent time on farms in summers growing up a lot, but like I never had to farm.
Mm-hmm.
But I move out here, people find out you're from Iowa, like, oh, farmer boy, you know, cow tipping.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't cow tipped in my life. That's
Right.
one that I don't even know. And I have farmer friends who are dumb enough to cow tip. Like people that would actually do it, it's actually pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you can fuck yourself up.
Yeah. A lot of farmers, especially elderly farmers, die because they have that male ego of like, I can still wrangle these cattle, and the cattle fucking trample them.
Mm-hmm.
So like I grew up on farms, but I never farmed, and I come out here and like, oh, this is what you are. You're a corn-fed. And so I'll play into it. I'll wear, you know, usually flannel or some country shirt on stage with some boots, and
Yeah.
you know, that's a part of who I am. But also, like, I came out here because I'm bougier than those Midwest bitches, you know. Like
Yeah.
I like skincare. I like expensive like hair products. I like
Yeah.
you know, clothes and shoes and
LA's the top 10% of the bougiest people in all the small towns in America.
yeah.
Like I felt like I was better than the people that I grew up around. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to the big city.
Yeah.
I moved out here with my band, so I came out here for music.
Okay.
And comedy was just like I've always thought about comedy. My mom always told me I was funny. Biblically, if you get spiritual with it, Isaac, actually the definition of Isaac in the Bible means gift of laughter. So I've always thought it would be super cool to be a comedian, but I've just never been like the funny one in the group. Mm-hmm. I always tried to be the funny one in the group. I was just the corny one in the group. Mm-hmm. But there's just, you know how you meet some people who aren't comedians that are just naturally the funniest people you've ever met?
Yeah.
I always thought you had to be that guy to
Yeah.
then be a comedian.
Right.
But it's a learned skill like anything else.
Totally. Like I always think like Seinfeld said in an interview, it's like I wasn't even the funniest kid in my class growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the funniest kid in my class, a guy named Bradley Vincent, funny as hell. And then I think around like age 11 or 12, he found Jesus and kind of didn't want to be funny anymore. It's like you're
crazy.
retiring.
Because that's the richest market to tap into.
Oh yeah, Christian comedy.
John Christ
Totally.
is just backing trucks up to the bank every day.
Yeah.
Man, playing churches, they just give you like a huge check to go come play our church. We're not going to charge anybody. It's just going to come out of dude.
And those people spend money. Like those Trump crowds. Mm-hmm. You know, like politically, I'm pretty much down the middle, but I don't want to ostracize.
Yeah.
Like, because that's also a large part of my family is, you know, that red side. And like, they, compared to my liberal fans, the conservative ones spend more money and pay full price and don't ask for anything for free. Like these LA crowds, put me on the list or whatever, you know, like, no, the rednecks are like, no, I want a full support, you know, like,
Yeah, that's so true. I have a friend that's a tour manager. I won't even say who the artist is, but she says when her artist plays in LA, it's just forget coming to the show because like every agent wants to be on the list.
Yeah,
and
it's all comps.
the dentist and the lawyers and all that. They all have to be on the list. And fuck it. She works for the band that sometimes opens for Taylor. Mm-hmm. So people that couldn't get tickets through Taylor at the stadium were coming to her. And she was like, look, my artist only has X number of tickets. The place holds 73,000.
yeah.
Yeah. If you can't get them through Taylor, you're not there's 3 girls in my band. They all have friends. They all have family.
Yeah.
Like, there's 6 shows. She was like, I can't fucking help you. It
Yeah.
was nuts. I mean, she was getting 180 emails a day for Taylor tickets.
Jesus, and LA's the word. Like, because if she needed tickets in Atlanta, probably could hook it up.
Dude, any other city.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's fine.
My first job out of college was bartending at a really nice Renaissance Marriott hotel that I'd been a busboy while I was a teenager, but I just worked there over like summer breaks in college and then graduated college, saving for law school. I'm like, all right, I'll bartend. And like we would have like Coldplay and any band that played Des Moines would stay at our hotel. And so I'd get like close with like the tour accountant or whatever at the bar because, you know, they don't have anybody else to talk to.
Right.
It's a hotel bar, so it's not packed. And so I'd always get free tickets to those shows. And like we're sitting 4th row in Des Moines, Iowa at Coldplay because the band gets, I don't know how many tickets, but they don't know anybody in freaking Iowa to give these to.
Yep, absolutely. I run into that. It's a kind of a problem with artists that are moving from clubs to theaters for the first time. They'll go out and like rows 4 through 8 will be completely empty. And it's like, we had 65 comps for you. And it's like, dude, this is Wichita. Did you think he had 75 friends here? So like, I don't understand why the agents aren't releasing these artist comps, but like, I'm just the video guy. And the first thing I do when we get to a theater is I walk in the box office and I'm like, release all the comps. Because I know the tour manager's not going to do it.
Smart.
They're setting up merch.
Have you heard of comedians who will go on like Tinder in whatever city they are and will just start swiping on people? Because there's a comedian that did this, and my sister Hannah and I was like, do you know so-and-so? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, he was on Tinder. Like, and just trying to get people to go to shows.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I don't give a shit. My Tinder profile says literally like comedian on tour, not here for hookups.
Okay.
Just like, because everybody I tour with is sober.
Yeah.
So it's like after the show, they're like, nighty night. I don't know how you can turn it off like that. I can't. I'm going to be up. And I always want to go have a drink or two, but I don't drink before the show. So I just want to make new friends in another town. I don't care. I'm not trying to hook up. I got a lady back here. It's all good.
Yeah.
But if I can match with somebody on Tinder, I was like, yeah, we'll come to the show and have some. I'm like, fuck it. I'll put you on the list. I don't give a shit.
What if you were ugly though?
What if I don't know. Some people think I'm ugly. Some people think I'm hot. I don't know.
I think you do okay on Tinder.
I haven't. I've literally haven't matched with anybody in 2 years.
Well, also 50% of them are like bots.
That's true. Or guys.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes.
Yeah. I mean, my mentality is I've never been on a dating app. I'm like, I don't know. It's probably just being a comedian. I feel like we meet enough people and we're out so much that I don't know if a normal person could understand.
Well, and the number one thing that women want, at least in their profile description, is must be funny.
Yeah.
So if you already have the super weapon, like if you know you can make them laugh.
Yeah.
For me, I don't approach women in public. I think no matter what your opening line is, even if it's just like, hey, how's it going? What's your name? Whatever. Your opening line mentally is, do you want to have sex with me? Like, I can't get that out of my head. So I just don't. I will sit there all day. You can be staring at me. I won't even say I'm not sending you a drink. You have to talk to me first.
I like that. See, my opening line is, do I want to have sex with you? Like, that's what's...
Mm-hmm. You say that out loud to
No. Yeah. No, God, no.
What an opening line, though.
What
Hi. Do I...
That is a baller move.
Do I want to have sex with you?
I was at this burlesque bar last night, and people were like salsa dancing in between. Mm-hmm. It's a fun fucking night. And I was talking to my buddy, like, you know, the most baller move? There's like a security guard in sunglasses, arms folded. Everybody's dancing with the women. Like, go up and dance with that guy. And fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's the machismo.
Get him moving.
Fucking, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why people don't do that. Is it because typically you would assume the security guard probably doesn't have as much money as like a patron of the club?
Yeah, and he also might punch you in the face. Especially if you're a dude like me doing it just to get a laugh from a woman.
Oh, you're talking about dudes going up to the security guard. Yeah, you definitely get punched in the face for that.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about women dancing with the security.
No, everybody's dancing with like these hot girls. I'm like, watch this, Adam. Because eventually you're in LA. You got, any interaction you have to kind of take the extreme to stand out.
Yeah, peacocking.
Yeah. You're in that room with, some big celebrity. Everybody's kissing his ass. Be the guy that's just in the corner like, minding your business.
Yeah. Just doing Jim Carrey shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. And then people that do see you doing something crazy in the corner, they're like, that guy is having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. It's interesting to go out. Like, sometimes we'll go out after a show, or if we're in Vegas or whatever, that night, that town never shuts down, or like New York or whatever. And going out with sober dudes and then watching them goof around on the dance floor and dance sober, I'm like, that's it. They're not here to impress anybody. They're just here to make the four of us laugh. That's it. Like, who can be the biggest goofball? And that's a lot of fun.
What's your favorite city to go out in?
I'm a big Vegas guy.
Really?
I have been to Vegas. I've lived here for 17 and a half years. I have probably been to Vegas over 200 times.
Do you fly or drive?
I have a rule now. I did this 10 years ago. If I can't afford to fly, I shouldn't be going. And the rooms have been free for fucking a million years because of my craps days.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel like you want to pay for that flight, then you don't have enough money to be gambling anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not driving anymore.
Yeah, my rule is if it's longer than a 4-hour drive, I fly. Mm-hmm. And I like the Southwest Burbank to LA to Vegas flight because you see all those like off-season strippers.
Oh yeah,
they're going to Vegas to make money, right? Like they're all in the sweatpants, the oversized glasses, and the flip flops.
Yeah, the 3 or 4 p.m. flight on Thursday.
Yeah,
your odds are good. You got good odds. My favorite flight from Burbank to Vegas is the last flight of the night
on Thursday.
On any night.
Okay.
It's like the 10:30, I think. So because you take off and you don't have to turn around in Burbank and you don't have to hit Vegas, go out to the right and then come back in on the landing pad. You just go right in. It's a 35-minute flight.
Wow. Do they still serve drinks on that 35-minute
No,
flight?
they don't serve drinks on any fucking flights on Southwest anymore.
They don't.
Not drinks.
Yeah.
They'll serve like water and coffee and
yeah.
shit. But if you can land straight into Vegas... When I lived in the Valley, I used to be able to like leave my house, go to Burbank, get on the plane, TSA, all that shit, and be from my couch to like being checked in under 2 hours.
Damn.
In Vegas.
Are you TSA pre-check now? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, for what we do, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I've traveled with headliners that don't have pre-check.
What?
And like, how am I getting through security before you?
Bro. Fucking see on the other side. Now, the problem for me as videographer for these guys is a lot of times I'll book my own flight and they'll pay me back. Mm-hmm. But if I don't, there's a couple guys, their business manager books the flight or they book it personally or whatever. And sometimes they don't put my fucking TSA number on there. And sometimes I'm late.
They think your tripod's a gun, don't they?
I check all that shit.
Okay, I do too, but whenever I do, like that's what always gets inspected is a tripod case for whatever reason.
Yeah, I got travel tripods for that shit now. They're break down to like this big.
Oh, okay.
So it's all just in a suitcase and that shit gets checked. But my personal cameras, so I have half the artist cameras and half my cameras. Mm-hmm. My shit, that doesn't leave my side. That's in a roller. It's in a little, it's actually that case right there. And I would take that.
Art shell?
Yeah. So sometimes I won't even check clothes. I'll just put clothes in my laptop bag.
I do that too.
Yeah. So I'd rather have my cameras than a suitcase full of clothes.
Yeah, I would never check my cameras.
Never. I've had to sometimes.
Wow.
If you're like C group and they're like no carry-ons on Southwest.
Yeah.
I've stood there and been like, how long do we have to argue about this before I can take this on the plane? They're like, there's no amount of time that you're going to be able to convince me to take that case on. So I gate checked them once.
It is hard shell, thank God. But
yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Still, I'm very protective of like cameras and laptops. I travel with a lot of electronics, and I'm surprised that like they don't stop me more because it's a whole camera bag with audio crap and like.
The thing that gets me is they're like, "Do you have any lithium batteries in there?" And I'm like, "Nope." And in my head, I'm going, "Yeah,
yeah.
I have the biggest ones you can buy. They'll run a camcorder for 6 hours.
Yeah,
they're like this thick.
Yeah,
and I keep them in because I can also power my phone and my Bluetooth headset, and I power everything off of them. And I just wonder what's going to happen if I'm like, "Nope," and then they open up and they're like, "Well, what's that?" I'm like,
Yeah, I know it's lithium.
Yeah, I had no idea. It's just I'm charging my vape with it.
Yeah.
Did you ever smoke? Were you a smoker or a vapor?
I didn't smoke. I tried to. My dad was a doctor growing up, so he was, like that's the one thing I really couldn't do. Mm-hmm. Just all the cautionary tales he'd tell me. But I did get into vaping like a year ago, and I got into it for like 5 or 6 months. Just saying like, it's not a problem, but you're sucking it like a pacifier.
Dude. Yeah.
It's worse than smoking. You can do it anywhere. And then you just see fucking everybody's doing it too. Mm-hmm. In my neighborhood, it's just flow bars all over the streets. It's shit. But that was harder than I thought to quit too. For like a 5-6 month habit, there were relapses.
Yeah. Vaping is the only thing that got me to quit smoking. I started dating a lady and she was like, if you smoke, fuck you.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I vape? She was like, for 6 months. And that lasted 2 years. But I didn't give a shit about cigarettes. I would sit there and be editing every morning. I'd probably hit it 2 or 3 times while I'm editing a podcast. Or not 2 or 3, 200 or 300. Just every 5 minutes. Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
But then last year they outlawed flavored vapes. And I think most of LA still sells vapes, but in my tiny little fucking town, they're just clear or tobacco flavored vapes. So I can order them online. That's still legal. And they'll come to my house 2 days later. I don't know where I'm going to be in 48 hours from when I order it. So I try and get a lot of vapes when I'm on the road. But I'm fully back smoking now, and I hate it. But I think I'd rather smoke 3 cigarettes a day than vape 200 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that logic.
Yeah.
There's something also old school about cigarette smokers that I appreciate now. Vaping has made me respect cigarette smokers way more.
If they could make cigarettes that smell like vapes, like if you went outside and smoked a cigarette and you came back smelling like strawberry passion fruit instead of an ashtray.
Yeah.
You ever been a cigar guy?
I smoked a cigar last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just got into cigars.
Okay.
About 6 months ago.
You like them?
I'm getting there. The first time I ever tried a cigar, I was inhaling it and I threw up. And I was like, fuck this. I don't know how you guys do that. And someone was like, you don't inhale it, dumbass. But the instinct to inhale after smoking for 25 years is it's tough.
Dude, I was inhaling last night.
Yeah?
I wanted to get a hit. I didn't want to just taste it. Like, I want to feel it.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. It's a different buzz.
Mm-hmm.
It's the problem with the vaping is like you the first hit of the day is great. You get a nicotine with some coffee. Then you're just chasing it for, the next till you go to bed. And then
coffee and cigarettes and alcohol and cigarettes are the two best. I mean, if I could sit at a slot machine with a whiskey ginger and a cigarette, then I'm a happy guy.
Also, are you a whiskey drinker?
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah.
And like as a bartender, we're really going out of style. Everybody is on the tequila or the mezcal. They're like, oh, it's clear, it's healthy. It's like, yeah, but the feeling you get from whiskey is better than any other alcohol.
Yeah. I switched to tequila last year. Bert Kreischer switched to tequila. He's like, I don't get hangovers anymore. So I tried it. Tried it for like 6 months. And I was like, it's true. I don't get the same hangover, but I don't have the same enjoyable experience.
Same.
Like I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, do you drink good whiskey? I'm like, yeah, if you have it. But if I'm at a bar, I'm like, give me that bottom shelf shit because I'm going to pour ginger ale on it. Like if you give me some top shelf shit and then you mix it, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, look, they can't tell. I know that as a bartender.
Yeah. What's the dumbest drink people order regularly? And can I guess?
Yeah, I guess.
The one thing I've heard from a couple of my bartender friends is espresso martinis are the shittiest thing to order at a bar because it's a pain in the ass to make.
I did have to make one for the first time in a couple of years last week, and I had to look up the recipe. It was easier than I thought it was. So I wouldn't put that as the most annoying, because really it's just a few ingredients. That's a great question. I would say God dang it, I can't. Oh, God dang it. The lemon. It's a shot with lemon, sugar, and vodka.
The lemon drop?
Lemon drop. There you go. I don't know why it just brain fart, but that is probably the most annoying because you got to shake it. You got to use sugar, which is sticky and gross. And then you got it. Like, that's the most time consuming because it's definitely the Comedy Store. We try to be fast, efficient. Like, it's an operation. We're, two people servicing 3 rooms. And
you got to get out hundreds of drinks very quickly.
Yes. Wow. So anything like that like even just, but also, the most annoying is a hot tea. Anything like that, coffee, anything that forces you to have to like leave your station. Like that's the most time consuming and annoying.
Right.
Any other drink that I can just stay at my well and salted margaritas are annoying too, though, just because that shit gets everywhere.
Yeah.
The salt when you wash it, and you feel like
So anything granular, like sugar, salt.
Yeah.
That stuff sucks.
Yep.
Wow. Because I like to be cognizant of, like, my bartenders.
Yeah. Well, I will say bartending at the Comedy Store is the funnest job I've ever had.
Yeah?
In my life, I've had like 3 jobs. Paper route, busboy bartender, and video games. Mm-hmm. And the store, like I've been there 10 plus years. It's there's no place like it. There really isn't, because just do your job. That's all That's all you have to do.
And for those of people at home that are picturing like you standing behind a bar, the way comedy clubs work, just for the folks at home, like everybody gets sat at the same exact fucking time. Everybody puts their order in at the same time, and it's not just the bartender like, what can I get you? It's 200 tickets coming in at one time, and you're pop, 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 pop.
Yep. And I'm a comedian too, so like there's times where I'll have to go on stage. Like often I'll get the opening spot in the OR. It's like 9:00, and the way the operation runs is the doors open at 8:30 for the OR. So I can make like 15 to 20 minutes of drinks for that room before I have to go in there. And then the door guy does like 5 minutes, and then I go on and do 15. This happened a few months ago, but like I was bringing up Sebastian, who I love. He was like my idol. And I'm also bartending, and I noticed, 8:30 comes, 8:45. I'm like, nobody's ringing drinks for that OR. Main room still, they open like 30 minutes before, so, they're going, but I'm like, what the hell? And then I go in the room, and the room's full, and nobody has shit in front of them. And then I get called up, and I look, nobody has anything on their table. And then the server comes in for the first time, who of course I know because I work with as a bartender. And Sebastian's in the back in the bucket seats watching me, and he's the only one. And it was a fine set, but they were stone cold sober, and I was watching the videotape of it, and the whole time they're just looking up. Like usually, you're watching the crowd. There's motion. And it was a good set, but it could have been great. And I was like thinking in my head, because when I saw the server come in, it was like 5 minutes into my set, and I look at my watch, and like on stage, I'm like, how did I get in here before you did? And as I'm getting off, I'm like thinking, not only did they kind of fuck me by like not getting into the room when they should have, as a bartender, I'm getting screwed too, because now everything's getting hit at once, like you said.
Yeah. So you got to get off stage and then go make all the drinks for the people who weren't drinking during your set.
Yep.
Wow. That's a double kick in the face.
Yep. I was thinking, like, you fucked me over in 2 jobs at once.
That takes a specific set of skills,
It does.
There. Yeah.
It does.
Were they just late for their shift or something?
And she was fucking around, talking to the manager's office, whatever. It's a friend of mine, but still, I was pissed.
Yeah, rightfully so.
And I told her.
Yeah. Did she get all like defensive, or was she like, "Oh, my bad"?
No, yeah, she didn't get defensive, but I also, she's been there a minute, so I don't think she's gonna change.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Everybody has an off night sometimes.
Yeah, and I listen, life's too hard to like. I try to control the shit I can control, and if I can't, just be mad about it for a little bit and get over it.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I obsess about shit.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? But
yeah,
if I can catch myself.
Yeah, that's one thing I will do. Like if I'm in the morning, if I'm showering after my workout, that's for some reason that's where I have all my intrusive thoughts. Is in the shower.
Oh yeah,
it's just like maybe it's just I'm constantly stimulated by electronics. It's the only time of my day that.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I'm working out, I'm playing video games because I ride my exercise bike. That's the only time I let myself play Call of Duty is for an hour while I'm riding my bike. But in the shower, there's no stimulation. It's white wall, soap, water. And that's where I get my intrusive thoughts. But when I catch myself having these thoughts, I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
You're like visualizing harm on another human right now for something they said 3 weeks ago. Like,
yeah.
Let it go.
Although there is like the Stoic principle of like, have you heard of kind of every day you should imagine bad things happening to you?
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Yeah. Kind of
good for you?
Some believe it is because, it mentally prepares you for if that were to happen.
Oh, that's interesting. And that's bad things happening to you or bad things happening to other people?
Kind of both.
Yeah.
I know, some consider it intrusive thoughts, but like if you can spin it in a positive way of like, I've cried about my parents dying and they're still alive.
Oh, wow.
But like it makes me appreciate them more.
Yeah.
I also think it's good to shed a tear a day. I think it's healthy to cry.
That's good because this tear duct leaks and it constantly waters. So I'm like almost always crying.
Yeah. I was in Iowa last week or 2 weeks ago during the holidays. I was on a horse farm and I took mushrooms. And like they didn't really do anything. I didn't trip, but I know when I went to bed that night, I had that feeling like you'd been crying all day. You know, where you're physically tired from, you didn't work out, you didn't like exert yourself, but your emotions did.
Yeah, you're emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll cry. Like, music moves me more than anything on the planet. So if I hear the right piece of music, or any piece of music when I'm tired, except for like metal or whatever, like anything beautiful when I'm tired, crying instantly. If I hear melodic harmonies, like 16-part harmonies, like Broadway or chorus or like, you know, choir music, I'm bawling instantly. I can't make it through any theater production without like just losing it. Have you seen Maestro, the Bradley Cooper movie?
I've seen the first 10 minutes. I fell asleep.
You've seen the whole movie.
It's great. Is it good?
I mean, it got nominated for a ton of shit.
Yeah.
I don't like the cinematography of it, but that's a very, very small, like 8 people will get what I'm talking about. So I'm just keeping that thought to myself. I think they tried to shoot it in the time frame, like in the style of cinematography from the time frame that he was alive. I don't think that translates to today. You'll probably understand this, but they stayed on the reaction shots instead of going to the speaker. So like I'll be talking, but the camera's on you, just for too long, and it went from black and white to color. It's Wizard of Oz shit. I didn't think it was shot very well. Anyway, there is a scene where he's performing in a church in New York or somewhere. It's like 75-piece orchestra, 200-piece choir, and it's a single shot on a techno crane that just pushes in, sweeps over, and like right when you think the music is going to crescendo, he brings it back down and he brings it up again and again, and I was just weeping. Absolutely losing it. So maybe that's why I didn't like the film, because it made me cry.
It's too close.
Yeah.
Too close to home.
Yeah. But I was trying to listen to music to get me all like motivational music, like, yeah, we got this kind of shit before my show last Saturday. And I'm just like bawling the whole way to the Improv.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do got this.
Yeah.
Fucking had the adverse effect, because I got all of my like emotional purge out before I hit the stage.
You probably do you listen to music before sets?
I try and listen to boy band music, yeah.
Boy band. Why boy bands?
Because my opening 3 to 5 minutes is about being in a boy band.
Really?
The truth is, I was in more of like an emo screamo kind of band.
But boy band is funnier.
Boy band is way funnier.
Everybody relates to boy band.
Yeah.
And even as a like manly guy, dude, I listen to boy band music.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
Go to the mall, they're playing it right now.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's why I go to the mall.
Right, to listen to boy band music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to the supermarket to listen to Phil Collins, and I go to the mall to listen to,
Yeah.
like, do you still play?
No, but I'm debating on incorporating music into my comedy.
I was going to say, I always thought it was funny. I did it one time where you bring a guitar on stage, you just don't play it.
Yeah.
And just in the end, like, oh, I forgot. And then,
Right. You got the safety net.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of what people do when they start playing music. They hide behind the guitar.
Uh-huh.
Like, I got this guitar, I'm fine. If I don't want to sing for a little bit, I'll just keep playing guitar. But guitar comics, God bless them. I know 2 of them. They're great. Being a guitar comic, if that's your thing, good for you. I'm not shitting on musical comedy whatsoever. I just think some musical comedy can be hack.
Totally.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to slowly start incorporating. The end goal would be to have my band back together and go on the road. And then I have a wireless mic and I'm running around doing crowd work and formulating the lyrics while they're just kind of chugging along. And then write 8 songs with a theater of people every night. And then they can all scan a QR code and download it on Spotify the next day.
I think it's funny, too, when I see bands and they don't know how to do crowd work. Because I've seen some really good bands,
Yeah.
but they will try to banter between like songs and be like, just don't talk.
Yeah.
Just,
It's better if you don't talk.
Yeah.
Or go, this next one's about my cat.
yeah.
And then go into it.
Yeah.
But there's some that try and do it too much. Like they wanted to be a comedian, but they ended up being a musician. And some of them are really funny. And their songs are funny and it's great. But the ones that are great at music but bad at crowd work, that's uncomfortable. Do you sing along? If you go to a live show, do you sing along?
No, but I will sing along if I'm listening on the radio. Like, if the artist is trying to make me do their job, my attitude's like, fuck no. I didn't buy Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets so I could sing with the band, like.
Yeah. If there's cameras anywhere near the venue whatsoever, I'm not singing.
Yeah.
The number one thing that this is what I would look for if I was a technical director. If I was live switching a show, I would go to the front row and go, who's going to fuck these words up? Because I'm definitely going to be on your face. And every concert that you see, every live performance, they cut to somebody in the front row who doesn't know all the words. And they just they're like, oh yeah. And you see them say the wrong shit. And it might just be the stress of like knowing they're on camera. They see that little red light come on. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
But I think it's so funny when people paid for front row and don't know the words.
I mean, at the bar I was at last night, I was singing along to mariachi music that I didn't even know.
Yeah. Do you know Spanish?
Not at all.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're getting all the words right in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting shit right though.
Are you ready for some would you rathers?
I'd rather.
Oh, this first one, I thought it was a great idea when I wrote it down.
Yeah.
But we'll try it. Would you rather only use Facebook or only use Instagram?
Can I use neither?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just if it's one or the other, you go neither. Like no social media.
Yeah, I would say it'd probably be Instagram, but even then, man, it's all poison.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Neither. This one's kind of tricky. Would you rather die in 12 hours from right now or be immortal for 20,000 years?
Be immortal.
For 20,000 years?
I think so. Do you age?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. For sure immortal then. If you aged, I'd die in 24 hours. Like if you look 20,000 years old and
Just be a decrepit little
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. My gut tells me that I want to live for 20,000 years because I know how much money I could save up. If you had a 20,000 year investment plan, like I'm gonna be rich. But like 20,000 years is a long time. Like who knows what's gonna be happening?
Yeah.
You could go through an apocalypse. You have to live through that. No matter what happens, you can't die.
Oh, that's funny.
If there's another ice age, then you got to freeze your ass off. No matter what, you can't die.
Yeah, with global warming though, I couldn't imagine an ice age.
They say it gets hot before it gets cold.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm sticking to my answer.
Okay. I agree. I happen to agree with you because I don't know what's going to happen when you die. So only having 12 hours left and not having enough time to plan your last 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like if you knew that your last 12 hours was coming in like a week, you get all your shit together, you travel to your favorite spot, bring all your friends with you. But if it's like clock starting right now, like I couldn't even get a party together.
Yeah.
I'd live for 20,000 years.
Yeah, and I kind of like, how things are going,
Yeah.
Right.
You could live every lifetime that you wanted to try in 20,000 years.
Yeah.
You could be a doctor. Whatever.
That's true. You'd be really good at a lot of things if
Yeah.
you...
Plus you'd be famous because you're like, look, I can't fucking die. Look at this. I just cut my arm off. Whatever. All right, last one. I forgot I wrote this down. Would you rather be the ugliest person in the world or the second ugliest person in the world?
Second.
Really?
Yeah. I'd like to know there's somebody worse off than me. That always makes me feel good.
I think if you're going that extreme, at least you get the notoriety of being the best at something. So at least you could become famous off, look, I'm the ugliest person that's ever lived. I'm not the runner-up. Who wants to be that person?
You don't think the runner-up could make a career out of being like, because you're still pretty freaking ugly if there's 6 billion people and you're
the ugly. I mean, somebody has to be the ugliest person that's ever lived. Somebody has to be the prettiest person that's ever lived.
I know.
The problem is that it's subjective also.
Yeah, but still, if you gathered everyone in the world together, there would be there's the richest homeless person.
That's true. There's the poorest rich person.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a would you rather from an episode I did last night of my other show. If you had to lose either your eyesight or your hearing, which one are you going with?
Oh, I think that's a lot. Hearing.
Same.
Yeah.
But I got a buddy that loves music so much, and he's like, oh, I want to be able to communicate with my wife. I want to be able to talk to her and listen to her. And I'm like, you don't want to see her? I was like, there's still sign language and texting if you can see. You can still drive a car.
Yeah.
It's got to be eyesight.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of adults have hearing damage.
What?
Like a lot of us, yeah, exactly. Like being in bands, you have.
Oh, 100%. My ears ring all the time. They're never not ringing.
But your eyes are fine.
I mean, I just had to get 44s, but because I just turned 44 in October.
Okay.
They call them 44s because that's when you're about the age when your eyes start going.
Yeah.
So I like right now this is kind of fuzzy, but if I had my readers on, I could.
Yeah.
I wrote that and I still can't read it. Next year I'm gonna have to increase the font size on my phone.
Yeah, and I have those friends.
It's coming. Lucas, this was a great chat. I could talk to
man.
you for hours. I hope you'll come back.
Oh, anytime.
I feel like I dominated the conversation a little bit, but I have so many more questions about sports gambling.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of hobbies. I love video game. I mean, getting to work on them, and gambling is it's a fun vice. But I find as I get more and more kind of projects I'm working on, that it's the one that has to go. Like I quit pot, like smoking pot, in the last 6 weeks. And now I'm just like, okay, what else can go to focus on this other thing I want to do?
Which is comedy.
Comedy's part of it, but like, yeah, like, because I write a lot, and then my first thing when I'm done writing is just check the stock market. And it takes me from writer mode to gambling mode. That's not a good, I get my best ideas when I write, and then I'm just existing, and that's when you get the shower moments. But like we were saying, writing on stage, you still have to write off stage, because even if I'm writing and I don't get anything out of it, it sets me up to be open the rest of the day,
right,
to whatever the world presents to me.
Yeah.
So like I'm very dedicated with writing, because I feel that you have to have those 2 hours or so where you're just with your thoughts, and then even if you don't get shit from those 2 hours, you're going to get something the rest of the day, because you've opened your mind up and you've loosened that brain muscle.
Do you free write for the first 30 minutes? Just stream of consciousness, whatever your mind says, you type?
I do every other day. First thing I'll do is I'll wake up and I'll sheet of paper, but I still put everything in my Apple Notes, so it translates easily between the computer and the phone. But I found that if I really free write and try not to if I just go off my memory, which it's hard, because like my I can only hold a couple new jokes at a time, but like if I really free write, I get a lot out of it, more than if I kind of try to memorize notes.
Yeah, I find that if I free write for 30 minutes, on the 31st minute a joke comes out.
Perfect.
I'm just like, oh, this lady brought her fucking dog to the coffee shop. I fucking hate it when people bring dogs to the coffee shop. And then at 31 minutes, I'm like, oh, I remember something my sister said to me when I was 13, and I make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't do that as much as I should. I need to do that more. Do you write by yourself? Or do you write with other people?
Usually by myself, and then I'll go over notes with a friend every week or two.
Yeah, smart.
Be it Brent Billacombe or Hormos or.
I love Hormos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the Brea Improv together with Steve Fury this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
I want to be that funny one day.
Oh, you dude.
I'll get there.
You're there.
I'm there.
That's what Dean Del Rey very well.
Yes, I'll just say yes.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's a band guy, and like he was always comfortable on stage. That's the hard part.
Oh, yeah. I tell people this all the fucking time. When I wasn't on stage in my band, I have been a public speaker on film sets for 15 years, and the haters will always say it doesn't count. And I'm like, I've had a microphone in front of celebrities and 150 crew members every day of my life. Well, not every day, because sometimes we shoot outside. For 15 years. I have no problem making myself look like a fucking idiot, professionally and for fun. It's just having the cadence of like being a funny guy and finding my personality. As soon as I lock that in, it's over for the haters.
Yeah, and you'll get there faster than these. I don't care what a comedian younger than 30 ever has to say. I don't care how good you are.
I don't either. I got a real good comedy buddy that's 22 years old. He's like giving me advice, and I'm like, that's great advice, kid.
Yeah. Now live.
Yeah. Go live some stories.
Yeah.
Lucas.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Whenever you...
If you don't know this, we just met like 3 days ago.
I was a fan of your work. I told you that, and you're like, nobody tells me this. I'm like, how?
That's insane. I think one of the reasons is because it just started getting a little better. It used to just throw shit up, but I'm refining my craft. But thank you for the compliment. Thank you for coming on the show. I feel like we're new friends. This is awesome. We know all the same people.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that we've never met before.
Yeah.
But I look forward to having you back. I look forward to doing some shows with you. And tell everybody where we can find you on the internet.
At Lucas Hirl. It's spelled Lucas and then Hirl. It's spelled like girl with an H. And then I'm at this Comedy Store a few nights a week. I'm going to San Diego January 24th. I'll be in Baltimore. I think it's the end of April. It's a date I just booked in last week. So,
what club?
Magoobies.
Oh, buddy, we have a lot to talk about. I just got done with Magoobies.
Okay, I did it last year.
Yeah,
it's a fun old shithole.
That's a great way to put it. Fun old shithole.
Yeah.
Man, that owner is something. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time on the Isaac Abrams Show. Go follow Lucas. Check him out at the store. Go see him in Baltimore. See you next time.
This show's a piece of shit.
Should I make up a charity that I
Yeah,
dedicate my time to?
that you can.
Okay.
I'll probably keep all this in at the end.
I am a big brother. I don't know.
Oh, in real life or like the
Big
program?
brothers, big sisters. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you a big brother to a little brother?
Yeah, but now he's like 18.
That's weird. Do you have to adopt him now?
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Because I'm thinking in my head, like in a few years, I might be like smoking pot with this kid or whatever. You know,
Sure.
like, because he's a cool kid, like smart, you know. I think he'll be okay.
I always say that I don't want kids of my own, but by the time I get in a committed relationship where it's time to have kids, I'm just going to adopt a kid of the equivalent age of all of my friends' kids. And people are like, you're going to have a big problem. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to have a 12-year-old.
Dude, that's funny. That's a funny joke. Like you're auditioning, like
Right.
12-year-olds.
Come on in, sit down. What would you say is your biggest weakness? Like interviewing,
Coloring.
right?
Yeah.